Yeah. Good morning. So we will begin the Bhagavad Gita. So we will start with the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1 from verse 7. But I will give you a small recap of what we did last time. So in the last episode, we saw that everybody is standing in the battlefield and Duryodhana is telling his own guru to look out over there in the battlefield and get an idea of the prowess and the might of these enemies. The enemies are the Pandavas. Now, what we have to understand over here is both the armies are not balanced. The Kauravas have a much bigger army, and the Pandavas have a smaller army compared to the Kauravas. Because remember, even Shri Krishna has given his entire army to the Pandavas, to the Kauravas, and he alone is fighting with Arjuna on the side of the Pandavas without using his weapons. He is not supposed to use his weapons. So I guess it is not balanced that way from the might purpose. Now we will continue from verse 7. Now this is Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 verse 7. This is a dialogue between Dhritarashtra, who has asked the question, and Sanjaya, who is answering him. In this particular mention from this verse 7 onwards, it is the dialogue between Duryodhana and his commander-in-chief, that is Bhishma. I think today it is in the first day. First day you will find that his one guru is fighting on this side, that is O mighty master of the Pandus, Dronacharya, right? So he's just talking to him. So let us see how it goes. So verse 7. O best of Brahmanas, know them also who are the principal warriors on our side. The general of my army, for your information, I mention them. Verse 8 says, yourself and Bhishma, Karna and Kripa, who is ever victorious in battle, and even so Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and Bhurishrava, the son of Somadatta. Verse 9 says, and there are many other heroes, all skilled in warfare, equipped with various weapons and missiles, who have staked their lives for me. Verse 10, this army of ours, fully protected by Bhishma, is unconquerable, while that army of theirs, guarded in every way by Bhima, is easy to conquer. And this is a kind of judgment every politician does before he starts his election. He will go out and he will announce to the world, I am going to win. Because, see, I have this one with me, I have that one with me, I have these weapons. It's a very common boast by most of the people. You know the outcome of what happened in this. So I don't have to tell you. The Pandavas won, the Kauravas were totally defeated, annihilated, and the whole army was defeated. But yet, at the beginning of the war, before it starts, you will find that Duryodhana is boasting to his guru that, see, look at our army and look at their army. And here our army is led by some of the best Maharathis. Maharathi, that means the charioteers. Maha, the greatest of the charioteers. So, and the soldiers that are fighting, and some of the generals and other advocates over there, they are also very strong. Now these people who are on the side of the Kauravas, they have a lot of might. That you will find that there are people like Karna, Bhishma, Kripa, and so on and so forth. So let us try to understand what is the meaning of this. On one side, there are the Kauravas. On the other side, there are the Pandavas. The Pandavas are 5 in number. Now we will go towards the spiritual explanation of this. The Pandavas and their sons and so on and so forth. They are connected to our being. We have to understand from the point of how this particular scripture, which is called the Bhagavad Gita, applies to our life. How does it apply? You will find that every person, object or thing over there is related, correlated to us. Now last time I was telling you all that I am not going to give everything all at once because it is very difficult to absorb. So let me give you an understanding of how this works. The Pandavas, Shri Krishna, and all others who are connected with the Pandavas are our own being. So all these people, they are personification of what happens to us. I was going to tell you how this works. So let me start from the spiritual world and various other worlds. The worlds are within us. This is how you have to understand. All the entire worlds are within us. It is divided into three categories. Okay? One is the Devas, which is the gods. The second one, the earthlings or whatever is there on this earth. Earth means basically the creatures who are born. Those who have taken birth. Not only on this planet Earth but wherever. The third one are the demonic worlds. Alright, these are the 3 worlds and they are within us. None of these are outside of us. Okay? If I have to just tell you, when people say that the demonic world is out somewhere, down below, there is no down below. And there is no up above. There is no up above. There is nothing above your head. It is called the sky. So let us not go into that direction. Now these stories, whichever are there, that is the Ramayana, Mahabharata, the Vedas, the Shastras, everything happens within you. So how do these 3 worlds work? Let me give you an understanding. First and foremost, we say there is a macrocosm. Macrocosm means everything out there, which happens on a massive scale. Second one is the microcosm. Microcosm is that which happens within the smallest of the atoms or wherever. And the third one is the earthly plane. So these are the 3 planes. The macrocosm, we don't have to go there because that is what is happening in this universe. It is beyond our understanding, ken and understanding for a normal human being. So I don't want to go there. The second one is the microcosm, that which happens within you. I just told you that this whole story is happening within you. And the third one is played on the earthly plane. Now on the earthly plane, everything is under the control of Maya. Alright? Everything is controlled by Maya, and the mother of it all is called the Prakriti. She is the creatrix, the one who creates this whole universe. There is a difference between creation, that is the unmanifest, and the manifest. So let me clear that as well. The unmanifest is beyond your ken and understanding. It is not understood. The manifest world is understood by us because we can see, touch, feel, use our senses and touch and get an understanding of it. We can use our superpower, super computers like the brain and all, we can understand that. But the unmanifest, nobody can. It is said that you can do it in what is called as the state of meditation. Let me give you right heads up over here. Meditation itself doesn't allow you that. Okay, because I will be using number of texts over here for you to get an understanding. My own Gurudev, that is Dattatreya, has clearly mentioned that even with yoga, yoga means what we do as Hatha Yoga, it is not possible to reach anywhere, number one. Number two, meditation can take you somewhere up there but not beyond. So there are lots of pluses and minuses. I don't want to mix it up with this particular text. That's a different text altogether. So you will find that everything happens on three planes. This particular story is enacted on the earthly plane. It is happening out there, but it is also happening in the microcosm within you. What happens within you is called spiritual. Alright? The spirit soul which we have within us is the divinity within us. The rest of it, everything is connected to this earth, which is the domain of Prakriti. And what happens to that person within the sphere of this universe, which happens in mind and so on and so forth, that is under the realm of Maya. I hope you all are clear in understanding this. This war itself is Maya. Whatever is happening over here is under the control of Maya. And who is the person who runs Maya? The big boss of Maya is Shri Krishna himself. But if you ask Shri Krishna, he is going to say, I don't know. I am not controlling anything. So, the spirit soul may not control anything. The supreme spirit, it doesn't control anything. It will tell you outright. But here, I just wanted to make this stage clear to you. So now let us come back to the text which is mentioned over here. Here you will find Duryodhana is telling, that is Bhishma Pitama is there, Karna is there, Kripa is there, Ashwathama, Vikarna, Bhurishrava. Who are all these people? So we have to address it from the spiritual point of view. What happens within you? So you will find that all these people, this personification, is within the being of that person itself. The Mahabharata happens within you. And this scripture has to be applied in your life. The application has to happen. Then only you will get an understanding of the subject. So yourself. So he is telling his Gurudev. There are two Gurus. I don't know whether I have mentioned this in the last scripture, in the last satsang. But there are two Gurus in our life. One is one who takes us from childhood till the end. That is the one described over here. And the second one is the spiritual master. The spiritual master cuts us off before. From this material worldly life, and he gives you a new life. It is called the second, twice born. So here Bhishma is that person. Alright. Then Karna. Karna is a person who is not the direct lineage, but he is also the friend of Duryodhana. He is indirectly related to the Pandavas, but he is fighting on the side of the Kauravas. So you will find that this is a little bit of an odd arrangement. Karna in our world, in the spiritual world, means we love to create stories within us. Our mind jabbers. Our mind talks too much, isn't it? And without proof of anything, we love to create stories. This is our world. We just look at an object, we see the object and we start creating stories. Those are not real. Those are not real. They are ruled by Maya. So you will find that far away there is a light, and this king Parikshit, the one who is getting this knowledge, is seeing that light. He goes in that direction. When you see it from far away, it appears different. When you come close, it appears different. But your mind has already created a story before that. And then he sees this particular sage who is sitting over there in meditative state. Similar story, exactly, more or less similar story is there in all other scriptures. You will find that every scripture will have a story somewhat like this. The king is going around in the jungle, he is searching for something, and far away there is a light. He sees that light, he goes over there. Frankly speaking, in some cases they find a girl also at the end of the rainbow. The king finds his match somewhere. So in Tripura Rahasyam you will find that yes, there is a beautiful lady out there. So the king is lost. In Tripura Rahasyam the story is different. The particular king is lost and he is going through the jungle, and then he sees a light. He comes to this place, and there, instead of meeting a sage over there, he meets a very beautiful girl. Right. He meets a beautiful girl and then he gets married to her. And then the whole story starts. Okay. So, why are these stories repeated constantly, you will ask? This is how they happen in your life as well. You will find that there are repeating cycles in your life. Throughout, from childhood till you die. The cycles repeat. Everything happens in a sequence. The sequence ends, then the next sequence starts, and everything repeats. So, everywhere it's the same thing. So, there are many heroes, all skilled in warfare, equipped with various weapons and missiles, who have staked their lives for me. Now, that day I introduced you to one subject which is called Indra. Right? So, Indra Dev is connected to the mind. So, if I say Indra, always remember that it happens in a different plane which is called the mind plane. And mind is unreal. There is nothing called the mind. You will find that a normal human being goes through the process of mind. Spiritually perfect people do not go through this process. The mind by itself doesn't exist for them. So all these enemies that you can see over here, that is the Kauravas, are within the state of the mind. That is why I said it is Maya's creation. Today it might be a little tough or difficult to understand. Don't bother your head so much about it. Just go along with the flow. Slowly everything will open up, because once these chapters open up, different facets will be revealed to you. Now let us see. Here you will find that our protection is done by Bhishma. That is the Kauravas' protection. The main person is Bhishma, and on the other side is Bhima. Now, when these two are pitted against each other, they are not a match. They are not a match at all. Simply because Bhima is at a downright different level. He is a disciple. He is a person who has learnt from his gurus. And Bhishma is the master of it all. So there are two separate things. So let us not mix this together. And that is why you will find that Duryodhana is boasting. On my side, that is Duryodhana's side, he has great guys who can defeat anybody. Of course. We will continue with verse 11, 12 and all. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 verse 11. Therefore, stationed in your respective positions on all fronts, do you all guard Bhishma in particular on all sides. Verse 12. The grand old man of the Kaurava race, their glorious grand patriarch Bhishma, Cheering up, Duryodhana roared terribly like a lion and blew his conch. Verse 13. Then conches, kettle drums, tabors, drums, and the trumpets blared forth in all at once, and the noise was tumultuous. Verse 14. Then seated in the glorious chariot, drawn by the white horse, Shri Krishna as well as Arjuna blew their celestial conches. Verse 15. Shri Krishna blew his conch named Panchajanya, Arjuna Devadatta, while Bhima of ferocious deeds blew his mighty conch Paundra. Next verse 16. King Yudhishthir, son of Kunti, blew his conch Anantavijaya, while Nakula and Sahadeva blew theirs as Sughosha and Manipushpaka respectively. Verse 17 and 18. And the excellent archer, the king of Kashi, and Shikhandi, the Maharathi, Drishtadhyumna and Virata, the invincible Satyaki, Drupada as well as the 5 sons of Draupadi, the mighty armed Abhimanyu, son of Subhadra, all of them, O Lord of the earth, severally blew their respective conches on all sides. Verse 19. And the terrible sound echoing through their heavens and the earth rent the heart of Dhritarashtra's army. Verse 20-21. Now, O Lord of the earth, seeing your sons arrayed against him, and when missiles were ready to be hurled, Arjuna, who had the figure of Hanuman on the flag of the chariot, took up his bow and then addressed the following words to Sri Krishna. Krishna, place my chariot between the two armies. So, the explanation for all this. You will find that everybody over here has to announce that they are there. Means, you will find that whether it is Arjuna, Bhima or so on and so forth, whether it is Dushasan, Duryodhana, everybody has to announce that yes, I am over here present in the battlefield. And everybody is blowing their conch. Conch in Hindi or in the Indian language is Shankh. Shankh, as you know, is the one which is there. If you see the image of Sri Hari, you will find that in one hand of his there is a Shankh, right? There is always, he has those 4 hands. In that you will find that one hand of his has the Shankh in it. Those who have been to Tirupati know it very well. Okay, you will find that Balaji also has a Shankh in one hand. So they have to blow their conches. The conch, as you know, is found in the deep sea. There are 2 types of conches. One which is the right-handed and the second one is the left-handed. Okay. So normally for spiritual purposes, they say they use one particular handed. In some parts of India they use one hand, the second one they use the second hand, which is right-handed or left-handed. It depends. Why is it so? Slowly you will get an understanding of that. It is the way in which we react. Spiritual addressing of this, spiritually when we are addressing this, you will find that there are 2 sides of the person. The right hand side and the left hand side. The right hand side is controlled by the left side of the controlling organ, that is the brain. So the right is controlled by the left is controlling the right. Got it? This is how it works. The announcement that I am there, it is always the beginning of anything. We just don't go out and start bashing a person up. You have to announce that you are there. If you do it without announcing, it is not a done thing. And the war is something where this particular war which we are talking about, it has to be played with all the rules in place. Now the spiritual understanding of this, every part of our being that is there has a specific functionality. Whether it is the heart, the eyes, the ears, everything, whatever that we have, it has a specific functionality related to specific functions which may be not done by others. Okay, so what is the function of the eye is not the function of the ear. The cells which are manipulating it are nearly the same when they started off. When they started off, they are the same. They basically, we call them the soldiers. So here in this case, these are the cells which are there when we are born, and then they carry on. So their functionality changes when they go in one place. Right? So the announcement is that when I open my eye, the world appears to me. Correct? Think about it. When you are fast asleep, and then when you wake up, what happens the first thing? Your eyes open and you survey everything around you. Correct? Similarly, hearing opens up. It starts. Smelling also, in your deep sleep, you can't smell anything. But when you wake up suddenly, the cells, that is the particular organ that is there, it starts functioning. Now most of the Americans and other people in the world, they are used to coffee. You know the aroma of the coffee when it hits you? When you are just waking up and if somebody is making coffee, it will hit you very hard. So basically, all these conches are telling you that here I am over here right now. And I want to start my functioning. That is the idea. So let us continue with the different sounds that are there. Now, I don't want to confuse you all with the different sound levels that are there. What are the sounds right at this moment? But remember, there are 4 kinds. You need to know only 1 or 2 at the moment. These sounds are different types. That is, you can hear me. This is the lowest kind, the worst kind of sound. When you do a whisper, when you speak in a whisper, that's another kind of a sound. Alright, like that. The third kind of a sound is actually heard by your inner ear. It is not visible somewhere. It's not heard somewhere outside. Your mind talk. It happens within your mind. Your mind is talking and you can hear the mind talk. Right? And the 4th one cannot be heard. It is the unheard sound. Anhata we call it. Unheard sound. Right now, just remember there are these 4. When the announcement happens with the conches, it is the physical sound. That is the one which is heard. And they have to blow it loudly. Remember, that is the worst kind of sound. The second sound which is there is a whisper. I can talk to my friend like that. That is at a very low level. It's literally, the third one could be telepathic. Okay? But the 4th one is unheard of. It is not heard naturally. So, the sound which we are hearing just now, are the conches are blaring. It is the lowest level of sound that is there. Even in science, you will find that the highest pitch of the sound is when you whisper. The highest pitch of the sound is whisper. If you have an instrument in front of you, talk in normal way and you will find that it goes this way. But when you whisper, it goes very fast. It is because of the amplitude, the frequency of sound and the reduction in that. So the space that is there. That is the reason why. The third sound we cannot understand on this scale. And the 4th one is impossible to hear. But I will give you examples of all this as we progress further. So you will understand. So here all the people are standing there. The army is out there, the conches are blaring, everybody is ready, and Shri Krishna is asked a question by Arjuna. So we have just begun with that, and Krishna placed my chariot between the two armies. This is where Arjuna begins. And he says to Sri Krishna, can you please come take me over there right in the middle of everything? And this is where we can stop. This is verse 21. And from 22 onwards, we will do in the next satsang. So we will stop over here for just now. So I'll take your leave. You have a very great day. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.